Hello, welcome to your lesson today. The word is sun. So what we're going to do today is we're going to set ourselves a 10-minute timer and we are going to do a little jagged set of triangles, and then we are going to create all the sun and everything on the top there, and we're just a little bit above the hat. Okay, so we're not touching anything below the sun today. We're going to make this little part of our picture here. Now, my person has kind of crept up the page a little bit. So I'm just going to give myself a few little triangles here of where obviously there's going to be some sort of mountain. And the reason I'm saying try to avoid going through the hat here is because as the week goes on, we're going to use the prompts to help us kind of make the whole picture. And we have other things. We have other things that are going to go there. If you're not very confident doing a circle, a really good thing here is a lid. I'm kind of just looking around, seeing if I can find a lid. I could. You don't. You can just like freehand one if you want, but I just wanted it to be a little bit more accurate than I usually am, because it is very much compositionally creating a centerpiece. Now I have some lines coming out of my sun, but actually they turn out to be clouds. So I'm going to leave them white, and they're kind of going in a diagonal way. And as they get further away from the sun, they get a little bit bigger. It almost has a anime illustrative kind of feel to it. You can imagine this being in a storybook, in a page that you've kind of turned of something amazing that is going to be happening. So we're kind of keeping that illustrative feel. Okay. Because it's the background, I think it's a really good idea to use your ink, to use less of it. So I'm using a finer ink, and I'm not necessarily inking in every single line, but instead just a little bit of a few dashes here and there to kind of see the effect that we're after. It's not about getting the exact lines from the sun, so hopefully that's coming across for you. Hopefully you kind of understand I'm not trying to get every single line perfect. You'll see even from the drawing that I made before we started, you can see that, you know, it's even changed as we go on, because I wanted to kind of do this in as though I was, you know, completing these challenges each day with you, but not being too perfect about having to have things changed as well. You'll see that's quite lighter compared to that ink there. I quite like that. So the fun bit, guys, let's get some water. I've already activated my paints this morning, and I've got something that you might not have. I have a neon orange, so I'm going to use that today as well. But if you don't have it, that's okay. You just use whatever colors you have. But what I would say is, with a wet brush, let's go down to the number 3 for the sun. With a wet brush, you want to wet the inside of your sun as a smaller circle, because it's actually going to be really good to try as hard as we can to keep some of the inside of that circle white. Then the middle of the sun, we can go in with a little bit of yellow. And just when that yellow touches that water that we've already put on, it's going to blend in, so there's not going to be a harsh line. But we don't want to take the yellow all the way into the middle. And then I'm going to grab a bit of orange. So I've gone and put the orange on the outside. And it's going to seep into the yellow, and in my world, that's fine. If you don't like that, use less orange. Now, here is the neon, and I'm going to drop that in, and you can see already, you can see already how it's like using a highlighter on your page. It's crazy. And I'm just dropping that in a little bit on the foots of the mountains as well. Just a tiny bit. Now with a bigger brush, we're going to fill in the sky. It's quite natural to think we would fill in a blue sky, but because we have either I think my hiker is turning up for a beautiful sunrise. If you have some quinacridone gold, it's going to be a really great color for this sunrise. If you don't and you've just got the yellow, that's fine. We're going to take that quinacridone gold or the yellow, we're going to pull it up under the clouds. See that? Under the cloud lines. And we're going to get a bit of water on our brush, and we're going to mix that color onto the page from that gold. So we're mixing on the page, because if you've got really good quality paper, which I do, it's gonna mix and end up looking really beautiful. Mix that to the top of the mountain range here. Just going to turn my book so that I can get these bottom bits here. It's a bit of quinacridone gold from my sun under the clouds. Gives a real Art Deco feel. And then I'm using the water on my brush to mix it down to the mountains. Mixing it into the water on the page. I don't mind that some of that orange is coming into the sky. That's quite nice actually. And then I've got the quinacridone, but I don't have a cloud. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make my own lines without clouds here. Just underlining them a little bit more. And then a little bit of clean water. I dabbed off some of the extra water onto my cloth because that much water is too much for that space. So that's got quite a lot of water on it. So just before I put it on the page, I dab some of it off. How pretty is that? You can really see that the bright neon orange makes makes everything else feel really dull. But I'm just going to put a little bit of neon heading out of the sun. But you can use a bit of orange if you wanted to. Just heading out. And that is our prompt for today, the word sun. If you live in Wales like I do, you might have to look up the meaning of the word, because we don't see a lot of it in autumn. I hope you have enjoyed that. Well done today for your prompt. Let's check in with each other again tomorrow as we're creating this really beautiful habit and creating something really beautiful together. Creativity is so good for your soul, and I hope that you are enjoying this little experiment, this little event where we're painting together every day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.